PBIS is positive behavior intervention supports. It's really, we can go in depth there, but it really boils down to providing proper rewards for behaviors that you want to see rather
Hmm.
than thinking forward, how do we get rid of behaviors with any kind of a punishment type attitude toward things. So it's really just trying to drive good decisions for students and make sure that staff are recognizing it when students are doing good things.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my guest today is Chase Christensen. Chase is the superintendent and principal at Sheridan County School District number 3 in Claremont, Wyoming. Chase, it's great to have you here.
Thanks, Janet. I'm glad to join you today and excited to visit about our school.
Awesome. So I would love to hear about it. Tell me what's going on in Sheridan County School District.
Absolutely. We've got a great little school district in northern Wyoming. I could call it an oasis in education. And I've got 78 students this year. We've got a K-12 system and I've got one of the best staffs you can even imagine and students here that just we get to focus on great instruction and good learning every day. What I want to visit about today is a little bit some projects that my teachers took on last year, and one of them is called the Amazing Shake.
That sounds great. That sounds great. So did the teachers create it like completely from start to finish?
Yeah, pretty much. So last year, one of my teachers came to me with the idea of bringing a house system to our school, and we we went forward with that. Really, with the idea to help build community for our students. We've got a very geographically diverse student population. They come from a large part of the state. Basically, from east to west, they're coming 90 miles, and north to south, they're coming 30 plus miles. And what that means is that our
Ah,
students don't really get together after school like they would if we were all centralized within a town, and that limits the amount of real community feel that our students are able to get. So the idea with the house system was to team the students up and really try to assist with building community and having some of that pride that comes from existing within a team, community, sub-communities, all of that. And I think we have had some great success to that so far. Our students they got to create everything to do with the houses, from colors on down to crests and the ideals, everything else. Um, we all of our staff are housed with the students. I'm in a house called Top for Kite, and their color is
fun.
purple, hence my dress today. But
Gotcha.
uh,
Okay.
Yeah, it has been a great thing for our school culture, and from that, what I wanted to visit about was the Amazing Shake. Was an event that we put together last spring. We did steal the idea from Ron Clark Academy, but we made it our own. We put a lot of Wyoming type activities into it. We had our students prepare throughout the spring semester to really engage in career type and life type activities. So everything from just shaking somebody's hand properly to leave a good first impression to how to converse with a photographer while you're getting your picture taken to how to visit with a policeman that just pulled you over for speeding, and really just putting them into a lot of those situations that we're all going to come into in life, and having them perform in that. And then the Amazing Shake was a competition that they went through 22 of these different activities in a 90 seconds per activity. And then each judge that was part of that rated the student with regard to how they did. And then there were various rounds. So they started out with that, and then there was a round where they had to work the room and go in and have conversations with judges and just really be part of a social environment the way that we all need to be able to do that to network in the
Mm,
future. So
mhm.
really a career connected learning piece for our students, using our house system, and also just thinking toward how we can best prepare all of our students to be successful when they leave their schooling.
Very cool. So is this something when does this start for the kids? At what grade level do you start this?
I 7-12. So it's
7 to
running
12.
from their seventh grade year up through 12th grade year. And this year we're going to throw in, we're hoping to have the competition early enough that our top scoring middle school student can actually go to the national competition that they hold for it at Ron Clark Academy.
Wow, that's really, really neat. I love that. So they start with a house. Kinda I mean, it kinda makes me think of Harry Potter. Is that kind of the
Yeah,
idea of, like, a
not
little bit?
not not too dissimilar, right?
Okay.
Same
Mhm.
kind of ideal is that you've got your own community, yeah, while it's part of the broader community. And
Mhm.
we're working hard to make sure that we're finding ways to celebrate each other. So we're celebrating students,
Oh,
celebrating
neat.
staff. We hold an assembly every Thursday, which we have a 4-day week. So we hold an assembly at the end of the week called Panther Claw. And it's named that because claw is a group of panthers, and really in nature, a group of panthers doesn't exist. So it's kind of
Ah,
a signifying that we are kind of even better than what is found in nature, and we're creating community where community may not exist. And really, it's purely a way to celebrate the great things that we've got going on in the school, celebrate the community that's supporting our students, and continue to have students performing their best every week.
so what are they great like, how do you like, the competition I know you said the competition for them specifically, but, like, d is there a competition all year long that runs along with it as well, or
We
just
do,
the
we do.
camaraderie of the house?
Yeah, camaraderie, and then we do use it as a PBIS system. So students are throughout the year, students are earning points. They are earning points for their house, but they're also earning points individually. This year, my teachers are working on a program to allow students to exchange points that they've earned for merchandise in like a school spirit shop, so that there's a
Mhm.
little bit of motivation tied to it that way. And then we can utilize that to kind of target good behavior, and target some learnings that we would like to see students take take on in any given week or month throughout the year. We can utilize those points to drive performance, whether it's in the classroom or just in the hallways of the school.
Okay, so tell our listeners that don't know what PBIS stands for.
PBIS is positive behavior intervention supports. It's really there. We can go in depth there, but it really boils down to providing proper rewards for behaviors that you want to see, rather
Mhm.
than thinking forward, how do we get rid of behaviors with any kind of a punishment type attitude toward things. So it's really just trying to drive good decisions for students, and make sure that staff are recognizing it when students are doing good things.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. We love our acronyms in education. So whenever they roll off of our tongue, we're a national company. So I want to make sure that people in other parts of the United States understand. And maybe that's a universal one. Maybe it's not, but I always want to be clear. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. So, and then the road to success that you were talking about, is that something, when do they start that then?
Yeah, it's actually a K-12. This is set up that we started this semester, and it's already off to great things for our students. Roads to Success is one more step that we're taking. We really are prioritizing what I call career connected learning. And making
Mhm.
sure that our students are exposed to the breadth of careers that exist in our economy, get to know employers, get to know the types of jobs and type of work that's available. So we have our students starting in their eighth grade year take an assessment called U Science that really gives them a great idea around where their aptitudes are as well as their interests. But we're really more concerned about their aptitudes because we want our students to be able to focus on the things that they're great at and be thinking
Mhm.
about how they can build upon those things to really help themselves throughout their lives. Roads to Success is something we started at the beginning of this school year. I was the first employer professional that came in, but every Tuesday we're pulling all of our students in 15 minutes with our K-6 students and a half hour with our 712 students and bringing a different employer to our school, and they're having the opportunity to explain what kind of work they do, what their day-to-day job looks like, how they got there, what they enjoy about their job, the challenges that they face, what the prospects are for a student that might be wanting to matriculate into a career in an area like that. Pieces of advice that they would like to share with our students that they think are important for everybody to be thinking about. And so far this year, like I said, I started out. We've had a hotel manager, we've had a nurse, we've had this most recent week we had a very young, I'd call him a serial entrepreneur, and just super engaging. Kids are asking tons of questions and really understanding that we live in an extremely small community. This is there's
Mhm.
130 there's 130 people here about, and there aren't any there's no real industry, there aren't very many employers, and what students are exposed to and have an opportunity to see in terms of opportunity is sometimes limited. So we're
Gotcha.
just working to expand that. We're going to continue this. I think it's going to be something where if from K-12 our students are going to be able to be exposed to hundreds of different speakers with regard to what's available in terms of jobs. And then really thinking toward that, maybe in that 9-12 space where they start to think about their futures. Even if we think only across those 4 years, we're going to have 38 speakers a year out here, which what that
Nice.
ends up being 152 different professions that students are going to be able to understand the ins and outs of the job, think about how it could fit their lives, and really we're utilizing that to provide the exposure. But then later on in our students' careers, we're making sure they have opportunities at job shadows, and then beyond that, some work-based learning. So really, just focusing and making sure that our students are career ready when they're leaving here.
Occupational therapy shouldn't be one more thing on your plate. It should be a solution. Lighthouse Therapy offers school based occupational therapy services that actually work for you and your staff. Our OTs have an average of 16 years of experience in schools, and they support everything from handwriting to fine motor to sensory integration. And you can choose from 3 different service models, whether it be virtual, hybrid, or in person. It's OT that fits your workflow without the chaos. Visit lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together to learn more. Right. Yeah, it's a big push in education, and I love that you guys are embracing that. And I'm sorry, I kind of like preempted you. I didn't realize it was a completely separate program, so I apologize for like dumping you into it when we were talking about something else. But I appreciate that.
Oh, you're perfect. In fact, it is 2 different programs, but, the idea of career prep and just having our students engage in, the things, the activities, the mannerisms, the behaviors that are gonna make us great employees, both of them are targeting that. I mean, and they tie together
Right.
well that way. And one just is a speaker series, the other's a competition, but same idea driving both.
Right. Yeah. Getting them ready for their future, having them think about where they're going to go and what they're going to do. So that's fantastic. I love the fact that you were the first one to do it too, because it's like your job is unique to something that they probably, I mean, they see you, but
Yeah.
to have an idea of all the things that you do, that's pretty cool. How
Well, and
has have you, go ahead.
one of the first questions that a student asked me, or one of our older students, actually even one of the elementary students, I got done giving my spiel, and they just said, "What do you do all day?"
Twiddle your thumbs. I just sit in my office and twiddle my thumbs, right?
Yeah, I told him I've gotten pretty tired of napping on the concrete floor, so I've got to get a couch in here for naps.
Yeah, it's such a low demanding job being a superintendent, being a principal, being a special education director. Take your pick. Oh my goodness. Oh, funny. That's awesome. I tell people, it's like though you get people that are really smart people around you, and they make you look like your job is a breeze, right?
Well, and I can't lean on that heavily enough. The not only the intelligent people that are surrounding me that are part of our organization, but the commitment that they've got both to our students as well as our district. It just shows every single day. They bring all the energy they've got and make this place a great place for kids.
Awesome. So you said, and I'm going to go back to something that you said earlier because I don't know that there are a, a lot of districts don't know how do you manage a student that has to drive 90 miles to come to school? What time do they have to be picked up and what time are they done and what do they do? I mean, that's 3 hours on the road every day, right?
Yeah, no, and I was saying our district is about, we serve students across 90 miles, but we're about in the center of
Oh,
that.
okay. Okay.
So
Okay, good. Okay.
I've
So
got
it's
students
45,
coming.
it's still 45 miles.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of our students, I'd say our top end commutes probably about an hour. But it
Okay.
ends up being just that, right? I've got staff that are commuting an hour to get here. I've got students that are commuting an hour to get here, and I don't know that that's too dissimilar from an urban school, really. I think the big difference comes from the fact that when we drive an hour, we can make it 50 or 60 miles, whereas if you're in a
Right.
city and you might only go 8 miles.
Right. Yeah. When I was in, boy, take me way back. My husband and I, it was just before we got married. We were living in New Jersey and, because he traveled a lot with his job. And I remember to get to my position where I was working, it was 13 miles. And if I left at 7 o'clock, it was an hour for 13 miles
Yeah,
and 2 sets of tolls, and I was following all the traffic into New York City. I was actually my exit was North Bergen, which was the last exit before you went into the Lincoln Tunnel to get into the city, and it was only 13 miles, but if I left at 7:15, it was an hour and a half. It was an hour if I
no,
left at 7, it was an hour and a half if I and I wasn't and I still am not a morning person. I get up earlier the older I've gotten, but I'm like have to have my tea and I have to like have my wake up time and but yeah,
we have
13
great we have
13
great
miles.
benefit. We have to cover great distances, but, there are mornings that I commute to work as well, and there are mornings that I drive 40 miles and see 1 vehicle or 0 vehicles.
Wow. Wow. That's northern Wyoming. That's very rural. I grew up in Grand Island, Nebraska, so I understand. I'm not that rural, but grandma and grandpa had a 120-acre farm and it was in St. Libory, Nebraska, and it was way I mean, it was out there, just out there. Beautiful sky, beautiful nights, I'm sure. But long drives. And then how's the winter there then?
Winter, I love it here. We do get a reasonable amount of snow and very
Do
cold
you?
temperatures. Last year, I think we had some days that were below -30, and, it gets a little
Wow.
bit windy in the winter here, and, honestly, that's, I think, what only tough people stay, and we end up with
Yeah.
all the great ones because of it.
Yeah, yeah, you have to be pretty hardy to be willing to put up with that and make it through it. I lived in Michigan, up in just north of Jackson in Pleasant Lake, little tiny Pleasant Lake, Michigan. We were excited when a Dollar General got built in our little tiny town. No, it was only 7 miles to Jackson, so it wasn't that far, but Yeah, it's 6 months of cold. And I am now
Sure.
58 next month, and I am certainly in Corpus Christi because it's warm.
Yeah.
Moved for the
Don't have
warmth, you know? Yeah.
don't have to put up with
Texas is
seasons
great.
as much.
No,
Yeah.
we don't. And actually we travel a little bit. We still have tons of friends and family in Michigan, people that feel like family, I should say. And our son is still in Michigan, our youngest. So we still go up there and visit. But boy, I'm like, I would prefer to do that in the summer than I would in the winter. I think my blood has thinned out as I've lived here and the past three and a half
It does
years.
not take very long to acclimatize to the environment you're in, and when you get
Right?
acclimat when you get acclimatized to 80 degrees and 80% humidity, even 45 feels like you're freezing.
Oh yeah, I'm cold. I'm cold at 60. I really am cold at 60. So, and a good friend of actually my director of finance, her husband is turning 50, and I'm like, I'm there because I'm 8 years older than him, and he's been teasing me for 15 years that and now he's hitting this big one. So I'm like, oh, I'm there. I am so there. So, but I know I'm gonna freeze. I'm absolutely freeze. But
Yeah.
you take what you got and you go with it, right? So, and if you love where you are, that's the best part, right? I don't care where you are. If you love where you are and you love what you're doing, life is good. Life is good. So Chase, one last question. If you could change anything, one thing, miraculously change one thing, can't be money. What would be that one thing in your world that you would change?
I think right now, it would probably be the tone of conversation around public education, and
Yeah.
just just taking a step back and understanding that we have a tremendous society that has built a product over the course of a couple hundred years that has and will continue to educate our students at a very high level. We are today educating students at a level that is far surpasses what has been done in the past. And we're graduating students that are contributing to a continually growing economy and really making the society that we want and will continue to want to live in. Just bringing down the temperature of the rhetoric and getting to a point where there's not anybody that will disagree that there are things that can be tweaked to improve, and
Mm-hmm.
there's not anybody, I think, that would say that we have an entirely broken system. And too often we're falling into hyperbole in our arguments rather than trying to find just an avenue toward good dialogue. And I think if I could change anything, it would just be that. Just get us back to a
Yeah.
point of dialogue that can move us forward, rather than trying to tear things down.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. So, if people want to learn more about you and what's happening at your district, and maybe even the Amazing Shake and the Road to Success and how you've set those up, where would they go?
Well, they're more than welcome. We post an unbelievable amount to our social medias, so both on Instagram and Facebook. Sheridan County School District number 3. You can find us there. You can find us at our website, sheridan3.com, and I would encourage anybody from across the country to reach out. And we're more than open, either myself or anybody on my staff, open to conversations over phone or Zoom. And quite honestly, I think we're getting to a point that we would love to start entertaining visitors and showing them the great things that we've got going in Eastern Sheridan County in Wyoming, and they can come see the school and experience the great things that Wyoming has to offer even outside of our school.
Awesome. And Sheridan, for those of you, if you don't know, is Sheridan. It's spelled correct, spelled phonetically, but I just always want to make sure people can find it. So Chase, thank you so much for being here. It was a great conversation. Love your shirt. Absolutely love the flowers and the purple. And just love that you are willing. And that's the thing. I love it about educators and about leaders in education. You guys just wanna share. You wanna share what you're doing, and it is so refreshing to see that offering of support to people that you don't even know, and it's part of the reason why Brighter Together is exactly that, because we are brighter together, and I appreciate that. So thank you for what you're doing, and just keep up the good work.
Thank you for the opportunity, Janet. Have a good day.